Well, welcome back. Today is a special day. We're standing here by the grape trellis that we did just a few weeks ago, and in the mail we had our Canadice grape show up. You'll notice that it's not in a pot, it's what's called a bare root. Many times they will come potted, and we have another video where we have shown how to plant potted plants, but we haven't done a video yet on how we plant bare root. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you that. Now, a lot of times, if you're going to ship plants from different companies, nurseries, from maybe a specific plant you're looking for, they're going to come in a bare root like this, especially if you're going to ship them in volume, like we do on the farm. So when we plant orchards or we plant fields of strawberries or lines of grapes, fence lines of grapes, we're ordering hundreds of plants, then they're going to ship them bare root to us so that they can actually fit in the truck. Just a few extra considerations as we do this, and one of them is that we're soaking them in the water here. You don't want to over soak it, so no more than 24 hours of soaking, and we want to have at least an hour or two of soaking. So that's kind of your window of how long you want to soak it in the water. If you can't plant your bare root right away and it's just got to you and it's been in the package for 4 days and it's starting to get a little dried out, you can take a little bit of water or maybe a spray bottle with some water and spray a little bit more water into the bag and just keep it in a cool, dry place and a dark place, maybe in your garage, and your plant should hold for a little bit longer. Okay, we're ready to begin preparing our planting hole. Before we do that, let's take a look at some of the tools that we're going to be using to make this project happen today. So the first thing we have, of course, is our plant, and it's almost ready to go here, all soaked up. And we also have a bucket to bring over some water once we dig the hole and water the plant in. And another thing we're going to need is a screwdriver and a measuring tape. Of course, we have our shovel here and a rake to help dig the hole and fill the hole back in. And today we're also going to be putting this 4-foot U-post here from Lowe's next to the plant to help it work its way up to the lower cordon wire here. And then once we do all that, we're going to be putting some fertilizer and some mulch down. And so we have our 2 cubic foot bag of mulch here to put around it, and we also have our bag of fertilizer. We'll show you a little bit more about that as we put it on. So the first thing we're going to do is measure in between these 2 posts right here on the trellis and find out where the center is. And we're going to poke this little screwdriver right in the ground. So it's exactly 9.5 feet in here. And so that puts us at 4'9". So there is where it's going to be the center of our hole. Nice thing about this trellis that we set up is that it's all cable and turnbuckles. And so it makes it really easy to undo the main line here that's a little bit obstructing our ability to dig. So we're just going to loosen it off and take it down temporarily while we dig the hole and move it out of our way. So we're ready to dig the hole. We have marked out where it's going to go. But let's just take a look at our grape here for a minute. And we'll take the shipping fluff off there that helps the root stay moist. And you can see that we are not going to need a very huge hole. Typically on a potted plant, if we were transplanting it in the ground, we would make the hole about 2 times the size of the diameter so that the ground is kind of fluffed up and broken up so that the roots can easily, as they're a young baby here, spread into those areas. So we have a hole here, and it's about 10 inches deep. It's not real deep. So let's just take our plant here, kind of see how it looks in our hole here. We're going to be planting it right here. You see where the roots are coming off. We want to go just a little bit above that, so about right there is where it to be planted at the soil level. You can see that this hole is probably plenty big enough for it. Most of the roots are all headed one direction here. So I'm going to help this plant out a little bit as we backfill it. I'm going to untangle some of these roots, and you can see this one here, for example, it is coming off this other side. It's just flipped over that way. So I'm just going to flip it back over the other way. So as we backfill, it heads out this direction, and try to get these roots headed out these different directions so they can pick upon different areas of the soil and not all be bunched in one area. So there you go. There's 4 roots headed out the different directions. Now we just got to backfill it that way. If I put my hand on the soil surface there, a little bit low, so a couple more inches. You'll notice that we backfilled the hole maybe half, if not even 2/3 back full. And you'd say, well, why did we dig such a big hole then? But again, remembering that our point is to loosen up the dirt going down to the sides, going up, so that these helpless little roots here that aren't very strong yet can get established a little bit more easy. And then once they are established, they can fight their way through the harder soil here, but we're trying to help out the baby plant. And at this stage here, where we're still really close to the roots, we haven't buried them all the way, barely. There's just a little bit of soil over top. I'm going to take some water here now and help water this thing in and settle those roots in the ground and give it one good drink there. 2 minutes later, and all the water has sunk down into the soil and helped pack it in there. And that's when you know you dug a good hole, is that water should be able to sink in there and move around, get to roots, go below roots. And that's the whole point of loosening that soil, so that the nutrients that we're going to put in the fertilizer and the water can help wash the things through and have easy access for all that food for the plant. Now, just a note on irrigation, since we just watered this. In our yard here, we have a sprinkler system already set up for the lawn, and these plants all get watered with the lawn at that time. But depending on what you're doing or where you're doing it, you may decide to run a water line with some drippers or a microspray next to your plant. But because we're not running the lawn sprinklers yet, we're going to give this plenty of water so it can have what it needs individually. And I like to, when I dig the hole, I like to keep the dirt as close to the hole as I can, because inevitably it's got to go back in the hole. We don't have quite enough dirt to get that hole filled up all the way, and that hole will sink down just a little bit in time too, because there's air mixed in with the soil now. I've gone over to the garden area and gotten a little extra soil. Now I'm not going to pack this dirt too tight. I'm just going to kind of pack it in there with my hands, and I don't want to stomp it in or compact it in, because part of what we did was loosen up the soil. At the farm, that's similar to what our planters do. They usually give just a nice little packing to it, nothing too severe, just enough to hold things in place and help the roots feel like they're tucked in a little blanket, like you tuck your kids in at night. Now I'm going to make a little bit of a basin here just so I can give it some more water without it running off to the side. We're on a slight little slope right here. So we'll just let that soak down for a couple minutes, and then we'll move on to the next step. So while we're waiting for the water to kind of seep in a little bit, I got a little trick here I wanted to show you. With the bare root plants, and looking here even at this cane that was pruned off, a lot of times these bare roots can really make you feel like they're dead and that you're just planting a dead stick in the ground. But here's a little trick if you're really wondering if you got a dead plant shipped to you or if it's alive. I'm just going to take a little razor knife right here, and I'm just going to gently cut just a little patch off. And we're going to see if it's green in there. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks very green. And so this little grape is very alive right now. So let's hope that we don't kill it, huh? And now with the grape planted, we're ready to put the cordon wire back up. So we're ready to put the U-post in here. And we're just going to put it a couple, 2 or 3 inches away from the plant there. so the plant is fairly close by and it can climb up it. And then we're going to put it here kind of flush with the cordon wire, and then we'll pound it into the ground. This post is a temporary measure. It's just going to help get the grape plant to travel up to this wire when it's young. So it's only going to be here for a couple of years. So there it is. I just have it about an inch above the cordon wire here, and that should be good enough. We're ready to put down some fertilizer. Now what I'm going to be using today is a well-rounded fertilizer for general fertilization. But in addition, this Ironite Plus contains a lot of minerals and metals, especially zinc, which we have found this area to be low on. So we're going to be using this today to give our initial fertilization. This plant here grows into a pretty big plant eventually. So we're going to be putting about a 3 to 4 foot diameter of fertilizer and mulch around it, similar to how we would do a peach tree. Today we're going to spread about 1 cup of this stuff around the diameter and perimeter of this plant. And you can see in this fertilizer here that it doesn't look quite the same as maybe the normal fertilizers you're used to putting on your lawn. It's not as white, but it looks like a bunch of rocks in there. Well, that's exactly what it is. It's a bunch of minerals and rocks heavily mixed in with the normal fertilizer. So we're going to take a full cup here, and we're just going to go around the diameter here, because we're trying to plan for the future as well. We're not trying to just directly pour a big pile of fertilizer right there. It's going to be able to get some of it, but we're also preparing out here as the roots come out that there's going to be more fertilizer out here ready for it once it gets out there. So in addition to the mineral boost fertilizer that we put around here, we're also going to put some mulch around the tree, which is going to act in some ways like our second fertilizer. The mulch is going to do many good things for us. For one, it's going to help bring the water table up as it sits on top of the soil. And so it's going to keep water closer to where the roots are all at, and it'll shade the soil. So that's going to be great, especially in our climate where it gets really hot in the summer to 100 degrees. Another great thing about the mulch is that it keeps the grass and the other weeds down around your plant, so that your plant doesn't have so much competition fighting for the nutrition from all these other different plants. So it's going to do a good job giving it its own space. Maybe the best thing about the mulch is that by placing it around the tree, it creates a miniature little forest setting again, an ecosystem, and it gets all the good bugs going in the soil again. It starts to liven the soil up, fixing the nitrogen. But one example that I could show you right offhand is just right over here next to me. You'll notice that the grass between the mulch and the rest of the lawn is growing 2 to 3 times as vigorously and green. The mulch has a very positive impact on plant life and the bug life. So let's put it on. What I have here is the 2 cubic foot bag of your standard mulch. I'm just going to cut it right in the middle so it's easy to pour out. And we're going to position it around our new grape plant here. Now, right now the grape plant is buried, but we're going to unbury it. So let's spread this all evenly around here. And I want to try to keep the mulch about 4 inches thick if I can, all the way around. And that's because I don't want the weeds coming through too much. And I want the mulch to start composting underneath with the grass. Now right here around the plant, because we're going to have all this action going on in the soil now, sometimes it can get a little too spicy in here for the plant. So we're going to make sure that the plant has some room to breathe. We don't want too much rotting going on next to it, because we're not trying to fertilize the trunk here, we're trying to fertilize the roots. And so that's where we want the mulch to be involved with. Our plant is planted, it's fertilized, it's watered in, it has its trellis ready to go. So we're not going to do any pruning on it today. We're just going to let it get going, and it's going to be sending out some different shoots and vines. Well, all there is left now to do is let Mother Earth do her thing. And it's already starting to rain a little bit on us, so we're going to let that rain continue to water this beautiful grape in, and we'll see you on the next one.